Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's the ICBA Daily News for May 21st, 2024. First of all, apologies for not doing one of these news videos the last few weeks and months. It's been a crazy time here at ICBA, but things are settling out. And we hope to get on a regular schedule again soon. I'm Jordan Bateman, Vice President of Communications for ICBA. I'm going to give you the heads up today on labor shortages, government growth, and Canadian competitiveness. Again, for links to the sources and all of these different articles that we'll talk about, please visit the ICBAindependent.ca. That's ICBAindependent.ca. Can't post media links here on Facebook because of the Trudeau government's foolish online news act and their silly fight with Meta. Pierre Poilievre, please fix this so we can have news again on Facebook. All right, first up, ICBA Alberta President Mike Martens is literally in the news. Sorry, Mike, had to tease you about using literally in your quote. But he's in the news talking about the severe labor shortage in Alberta. This will come as no surprise to anyone who's been watching or listening to any of the Connects feeds over the past few months. It feels like there's an Alberta is calling ad in almost every radio and podcast and whatnot, inviting trades workers specifically to come to Alberta and go to work there. And if they spend a year there, they're eligible for, I think was it a $5,000 grant? It's either $2,000 for 5,000 workers or $5,000 for 2,000 workers. I forget which one it is. But Alberta is calling and trying to take British Columbia workers. The reason why is there's a severe labor shortage in Alberta, which is a province that is booming with population. The shortage is affecting the ability of companies to bid on projects and to keep up with infrastructure demands. Factors include contributing to the issue, a high vacancy rate in construction jobs, competition from high-paying industrial projects, especially in the oil sands, and an aging workforce nearing retirement. So again, the Alberta government, this is one of Danielle Smith's big success stories, launching the Alberta is Calling campaign, attracting skilled workers from other provinces, and increasing funding for apprenticeship programs. This issue's not going away. It's a problem in British Columbia, it's a problem in Nova Scotia, it's a problem in Ontario, it's a problem across the country. Alberta is just being a little bit more aggressive in trying to fill it with Canadian intermigration. Okay, speaking of ICBA, our Chief Economist Jock Finlayson, he's in the Business in Vancouver newspaper this week with Ken Peacock of the Business Council of British Columbia. They're pointing out that while public sector employment has surged, private sector job growth has been minimal, with only a 2% increase since 2019 compared to a 20% increase in the public sector. So when you hear all these great job numbers the government throws around, like, oh, the economy's growing, lots more jobs, they're almost always based on government jobs, not on private sector jobs. Of course, because of that, because the private sector is crucial for the long-term economic health of our provinces and the country, because they generate the money that the public sector spends, this imbalance really does threaten the sustainability of economic growth in British Columbia. So Jock and Ken also highlight that the high costs imposed on businesses by government policies, costs that have added billions to the expenses of private sector employers, further strains their ability to grow and hire. So it's twofold. You know, we need to grow the private sector in order to pay for all these government jobs, but the government jobs that are created are just creating more red tape and taxes and issues and bureaucracy that, again, further restrict the private sector. This is a bad cycle to be in. Building on that, Catherine Swift, our old friend, has a piece in the Niagara Independent criticizing Canada's climate policies and their impact on economic competitiveness. So Catherine argues that the international climate-related standards, particularly those from the International Sustainability Standards Board, and who doesn't love the International Sustainability Standards Board and know exactly what they're doing? Anyways, they're imposing complex and costly regulations on businesses. The problem here is Canada seems to artificially restrict itself on these things, taking on a bunch of red tape, bureaucracy, rules that the rest of the world doesn't seem to care about. It doesn't seem to do. Basically, tying our hands behind our back in a boxing match when it comes to economic competitiveness. So those are big problems. And then a bonus piece, just to draw your attention to, there's a link here to Energy Now. They've got a great piece called "The World Needs More British Columbia Liquefied Natural Gas, More BC LNG." Makes the case that you can reduce emissions around the world by switching, particularly the Asian countries, off of coal onto BC LNG. Very compelling environmental case there. And The world needs more BC LNG, yes, for emissions. BC needs more BC LNG for economic growth, competitiveness, and to pay for this burgeoning public sector, this burgeoning government bureaucracy that Jock and Ken Peacock wrote about in the second piece I mentioned. Okay, well, that's it for today. Feels a little rusty there. Hopefully it's okay. But I will be back hopefully tomorrow with more ICBA Daily News. Thanks for watching.